Have you ever been in a relationship or had a friend that constantly put you down? Or know that person that's always vying to be the center of attention? While these may seem unrelated, they're all connected by a single psychological thread, which is narcissism. In today's video, we'll be discussing narcissism, what it is, what are the possible causes, and some of the different types. We'll also briefly walk through a few case studies and conclude the video with ways narcissism is treated clinically. Before getting into the weeds of narcissism, let's explore how the term came to be. In Greek mythology, Narcissus was the son of a river god and a nymph. Before he was born, the seer Tiresias told his mother that he'd live a long life, but only if he never knew himself. Narcissus grew up talented, handsome, and proud. Both men and women admired him and were drawn to his beauty. One of them, the nymph Echo, professed her love for him, but was harshly rejected. Heartbroken, she fled to a cave and slowly faded away. Another admirer, a young man named Amenius, was also rejected. Before he perished from heartbreak, he pled to the goddess Nemesis for revenge, asking her to make Narcissus understand the pain of unrequited love. Nemesis cursed Narcissus so that he would never be loved by the one he fell in love with. One day, Narcissus found a clear body of water and leaned over to get a drink. He saw his own image and was mesmerized by its beauty. He fell in love and spent days gazing at his reflection, not taking time to eat or drink. Eventually, he withered away and died. All that was left was a golden white flower leaning over into the water, the narcissus, more commonly known as the daffodil. This story is a cautionary tale on how obsession with oneself can lead to destruction. So, now that we know the myth, what actually does being a narcissist mean? Narcissism is a personality trait marked by excessive interest in oneself with little regard for others. Like many personality traits, narcissism is complex and exists on a spectrum. Narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is a formal condition listed in the DSM-5 and can only be diagnosed by a mental health professional. In other words, everyone who exhibits narcissistic traits does not have NPD. Think of it like being anxious before going on a date. You may exhibit traits of an anxiety disorder, such as feeling nervous, restless, or having an increased heart rate, but you wouldn't say you have an anxiety disorder from this instance. To clarify a big misconception, NPD does not mean that a person loves themselves. Instead, it's a love for an idealized, larger-than-life self-image to avoid the feelings of insecurity. From the story of Narcissus, he didn't really love himself, but his reflected image. Some other characteristics of NPD are having a grandiose sense of self-importance, needing constant praise and admiration, a lack of empathy for others, and frequently manipulating or belittling other people. But what contributes to someone developing NPD? Most psychologists and mental health professionals believe it's a mix of early childhood experiences, genetics, and environmental or cultural factors. Some twin studies have shown a link between certain narcissistic traits and genetics, such as grandiosity and entitlement. On the environmental and cultural side, narcissism scores were higher in individualistic cultures when compared to collectivist cultures. Also, childhood experiences like being rejected by a parent or experiencing too much praise from a parent could develop into NPD. In terms of how common NPD is, estimates suggest that anywhere from 0.5% to 5% of adults in the United States have the personality disorder, with about 75% of them being men. There are two major types of narcissism: grandiose, also known as overt, and vulnerable, also known as covert. Grandiose narcissism is what most people think of when you call someone a narcissist. These people are extroverted, arrogant, dramatic, and self-assured. They typically have a lower tendency to experience negative emotions and are more open in expressing their perceived superiority. On the other hand, vulnerable is less obvious, but still exhibit traits of self-absorption and the belief that they're better than others. These people are anxious, defensive, depressive, and withdrawn. They have a higher tendency to experience negative emotions and seek reassurance more than grandiose narcissists. I think now is a great time to look over a few case studies to see how, in the real world, you can tell you're dealing with the narcissist. In this section, I'll flash a short paragraph about a person, and you'll decide if that person is exhibiting grandiose or vulnerable narcissism, or simply narcissistic traits. Treatment of NPD varies depending on the patient and their symptoms. Most people with NPD experience comorbidity, meaning they suffer from other mental disorders like anxiety, depression, and bipolar disorder. Also, NPD is less likely the reason sufferers go to therapy. They typically seek relief from the other disorders that they have. To date, there hasn't been an FDA-approved medication to treat NPD. Generally, medication is used to treat the comorbid disorders. Psychotherapy is much more helpful for emotional regulation and developing empathy. Today, we've covered the origins of narcissism, its traits and how it develops, and how it's treated. We also took a look at real-life examples to see how NPD traits manifest in the real world. I hope you enjoyed, and in the comment section below, let me know if you've ever dealt with a narcissist or recognized these traits in yourself. Also, let me know what personality topic you'd like me to explore next. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.